Let's see. There. All right. Good evening. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. It is Sunday. Man, I tell you, this freaking time is just absolutely blowing by. It is unreal. So, as you can see, I haven't shaved in a few days. It goes really, really fast. But anyway, I hope everybody had a good weekend. And so, we're going to get into this. Why were Americans left behind? We're going to get into that here in a little bit. But before we do, I would like to remind everybody we do a family friendly oriented channel here. So no racism, no nastiness. I'm going to ask you to refrain from arguing with others in the chat. I guess that's been an issue lately. Um, Listen, it's real, real simple. We can agree to disagree. I know that everybody that follows my channel does not agree with everything that I say, and that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that because you shouldn't agree with everything that I say. What I say is my opinion, and I just happen to have a forum to share that opinion with people. But it's that's just kind of where I'm at with that. So let's just let's be nice to each other in the chat. No racism, no nastiness, and I would appreciate that. If you cannot abide by those simple, easy rules, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here. It's as simple as that. All right. Not playing games, don't want to play games. So there we are. So before we get started, I do want to let everybody know for my members, I will be live streaming tomorrow night for members only, for Hardcore Prepper members at 8 o'clock. So if you would like to be part of that or partake in that, what you have to do is go to my main page and you will see the join button. You click on that, and that's how you do that. But I do every Monday, I do a live stream for my members only. And so I would ask you to join me if you are interested in doing so. So that's how you do that. All right. So, but just for my members, just wanted to let them know that I will be on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. All right. So, hey, Ed and everyone from the UK. Hey, Peter, welcome. I'm glad you're staying up late to join us. I know that in the UK it is 1 o'clock in the morning right now on a Sunday. So I know it's late for you guys over there. So I do appreciate you guys staying up for the live stream. 5 hour difference across the pond. So, all right. Uh, Back in the 70s, I dated a guy from Portageville. Are you that far down? I'm not going to say, Randy. I'm not going to say. Uh, Too many people have way too much information already. So, yeah, no. TMI sometimes. I definitely give out way too much information, but it is what it is. So, yeah. Oh, I got to, oh, talking to someone else. Oh, okay, Randy Romines. All right. I don't know if that was directed to me. I'm sorry. I guess it was not. How dare you talk to somebody else in my chat? No, I'm only kidding. I'm just being a goof. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great day. They had the balloon festival this weekend. They did not do it last year because of everything that was going on. So I do want to let's talk about this. Let's talk about really quickly the number of schools that are now had started that are now closed because of everything going on. Right? Huge, huge push. Um, and my sister brought up a really, really great point today, and I thought this was quite interesting. And listening to other people's perspective of stuff and how they look at stuff, I always find it really, really interesting. And so they were talking on the news, I guess, that there was 300 new cases of children having the virus. Okay, and she said to me, she said, Ed, there's 74 million children in the United States. She goes, 300 is nothing. And so then I made the point, you know what? Do not even start. Down. Good girl. Um, I made the point. Okay, stop. You know what? Just because now I'm on live stream does not mean you all get to act up. No, they're worse than children. I swear to you. Um, so of those 300 that got the virus, my question would be, okay, how many of that 300 were 100% healthy children? Number one. How many of those children were compromised children? How many of those children, because unfortunately, in our day and age that we have today, we have a lot of obese children, a lot, unfortunately. I mean, and I've talked about this before, and I'm not hammering. I don't want you to think that like I'm like fat obsessed or anything like that. But when we went to school, there was literally one fat kid in the whole school. And unfortunately, nowadays, almost half these kids are overweight in these schools today, which is sad, really, really sad. So, again, my question would be no, they don't have to pee. They don't have to pee. I just took them out before the stream started, so I knew that we would not have that problem. So they've already gone. So, but the question, like I said again, how many of these 300 that got it were already maybe compromised for other issues as well? Because you got to think about, we got a lot of children that have a lot of problems. A lot of children have a lot of problems. So you have to look at it that way too. So that would be my question. So they just throw a number out at you to like sensationalize something, and so I find that very, very interesting. And so this obsession again with wanting to force children 12 and over to get something that, in my opinion, that they do not need. Especially that if they get it, their chances of survival is 99.9% because of their age group. Okay, uh, a lot of children have immune disorders. Exactly, Jane Delaney. So again, my question would be: of these 300 children that they talked about that just were diagnosed, how many of them are already compromised? So again, hey Ed, I just started prepping because of your channel. Gail, I think that's awesome. I am very, very glad to hear that you're doing that. Very, very smart. Very, very smart, especially with everything that's going on. I think that it's really, really important. So, it has not been tested on younger than 18 in most cases. Yes, but now they're coming out with that it's okay for 12-year-olds and older to get it. At every year at the start of every school year, kids will get sick, especially elementary level kids. Well, that's I'm going to tell you what. So let's talk about that for a second. So growing up, I never got sick. I was always just one of those kind of kids. I really didn't get sick very often. Very, very rarely did I get sick. And as a young adult, I never got sick. And I used to laugh at people. Oh my God, you guys are freaking sick again. Oh well, the kids went back to school, and little kids touch everything. They touch everything. They stick their fingers in their mouths, and the parents that send their kids to school when they're sick always used to piss me off. I always used to hate that. Well, when I had my kids, I was sick every year because the kids would go to school, they touch everything, they bring it all home, and then everybody in the household was sick. That's what happens. Yeah, germ factories. It's exactly what they are. Okay, I don't care how much Perel you have, hand sanitizer, mask or whatever else. Kids are going to get sick. That's what they do because their parents, a lot of them, aren't smart enough not to send their kids to school when the kid is sick. My kid had a temperature or fever, they were staying home. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, but that's always been the case. So that's nothing new. And now that the kids are done with school, I don't get sick again. It's amazing how that works. So, but uh, I just they're. Yeah, and then what do they do? Like I said, Randy Romas said, green's not hanging out of their nose. It's this, or that's what they do, and then they go and touch everything else, and then you pick it up, and then you got it, and that's how it goes. But anyway, so that's but so now you've gotten all these schools that are shutting down. It's just it is a huge, huge game. It's a huge manipulation, in my opinion. Candace Cullen says, teach your kids that they have ownership over what happens to their bodies. So here's an important point I want to make with this, and thank you very much for that statement, Candace, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. Who is the easiest group of people to manipulate? Easiest group of people to manipulate, because they're looking at their elders, if you will. And when kids are school age, they have all these teachers and stuff like that that are telling them what they need to do and what they have to do, right? So, Ed, canned spaghetti sauce today, 12 quarts. Very cool, Jen. Yeah, we've been doing spaghetti sauce ourselves here, but just as things ripen, that's how we're doing it. So, but if you teach these young kids that they have to comply, that they have to do what they're told, that they have to be in that situation, that's what happens. And they're very easy to manipulate, they're very easy to sway. You look at that teacher in California that was exposed because he's a communist and he was trying to teach kids how to be radicals, and he would give them extra credit for going to radical events. He's swaying their minds, and that's what they do. They mold their minds at that young age to make new little radical lunatics. So it is unbelievable that we allow that in our schools, that these administrations. But again, when you have administrations full of people that think the same exact way, that's what happens, unfortunately. And until somebody comes out and makes a freaking stink about it, nothing is going to change. But children are very easily manipulated. Us older folks that have been around the block a time or two, it's not easy to pull the wool over our eyes like it is these other people. You know, so I'm going to make one more statement on this, and then we're going to get into the Afghan thing. I promise you, okay? I want you to think about this. This is just a statement. This is just a statement. They have let us die by the thousands, year after year after year, for how long? And they didn't care about nothing. They didn't care about it. Now all of a sudden, the elites supposedly care, and they want to, help us. Or is it, at the end of the day, all about the almighty buck and more control? And if you get something and then you have side effects from that something that they're not liable for, now you have another lifelong customer, because now you have to take medication because of said side effect from what happened to you. Think about that. Just think about that for a second. Something that was forced on you. Okay, something to think about. Just something to share. And at the end, and actually, Jason Arnold just said it's always about money. At the end of the day, it is always about money. Always. So, all right. So first of all, we got 532 in the chat. We're at 175 on a thumbs up. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to do that really quickly. I really appreciate that if you do that, and thank you very much ahead of time for doing that to show support for the channel. I do appreciate it. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for that reason as well. Again, I would appreciate it. And of course, the third reason, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. It's just part of the game. So thank you for that as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to hit all notifications as well. And thank you very much for doing so. All right, now let's get into this. I don't know if you remember, but I remember the big show, right? The last boot off the ground in Afghanistan was a 3-star general. Oh my God, I'm so impressed that he's the last one to leave Afghanistan. And all the Americans are out. Except all the Americans are not out. And I'm going to tell you right now, they knew darn well that all the Americans were not out. They knew. They already knew that ahead of time. They put on this big show. The last American soldier to leave Afghanistan was a 3-star general. But yet, and they're saying, so there's always 3 sides, okay? Like when somebody's getting divorced, an example would be there's three. I always say there's three sides to every story: his side, her side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. That's how it goes. That's how it always is, in any situation. So, but when you say the media, the government, oh well, yeah, there's like 100 Americans still left behind. I would say that that number is probably much, much higher, much, much higher. So, it is unbelievable to me that people continue to believe this crap, you know, Afghans wanting Black Hawk flying lessons. Well, and that's the thing is too, once again, and we had this discussion in the other stream the other night, and I talked about this. What I would say, very, very simple to these guys that are now running Afghanistan. I want all the Americans put together, unharmed, and I want them out of there. They're stopping airplanes from leaving with American citizens on there, and they're using all kinds of BS excuses of why they're not letting those planes leave. That people don't have the proper paperwork, or whatever the case may be. This is so simple. I could fix this in 5 minutes. You call up whoever's in charge in Afghanistan and you say, listen, here's the deal. I want every American citizen that is still in your country at that airport. And here's a list of the names. Here's a list of the names, which you already probably know because they were already handed the list of those names. The Taliban was already given the list of the names of the Americans that were still there, right? Here they are. I want them at the airport at this time. We're coming in. We're flying in. Oh, what happened there? What did I do? Did something. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, what did I do? Um, um, so you say, listen, get them at the airport. We're coming in and we're going to take them out of there. And that's it. That's it. There's no negotiation because if you don't do that, here's what we're going to do. Simple. Really, really simple. And that's it. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. You bomb them back into the Stone Age, and here's the other part of that you don't do. You don't go back in and rebuild everything. You want to act like animals? We'll treat you like animals. It's absolutely fine with us. You want to treat women like crap? You want to kill people? You want to pull people out of their houses? Then these are the consequences. This is your choice. You do whatever you want with your own people, but this is what we do. If you don't give up those Americans and get them out there, and we're coming to get them, that's it. And that's a choice. There isn't there. You don't negotiate with these type of people. You tell them what's going to happen, and then when they don't abide by that, then you bomb them back into the Stone Age. You don't have to put boots on the ground. You don't have to do that at all. You don't. So you know, so just something to think about. And I'm like so tired of us trying to be like, putting ourselves, putting Ed, let's call it is. We gave them the equipment Obama style. Oh yeah, we gave them, like I said, we gave them all that stuff. Yeah, not like if somebody made a comment, or in one of my posts, and they said, and I thought this was great. Until they get every round and weapon and everything else that we just gave the Taliban back, they go like, I don't want to hear one more thing about gun control. Because why would they harp on this whole gun control thing all the time, as we all know, right? I mean, it's constant. It doesn't go away. It's a constant thing that is happening over and over and over again. But yet, we gave the cartels weapons. Oh yeah, by the way, which they used to kill an American border guard, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. That was an Obama thing. That was back then. Also, like I said, given all these weapons to these freaking folks, it amazes me. It absolutely amazes me. So, yeah, over $80 billion in the military equipment. Yep, exactly. But I guarantee you what, Phil Drummond got their check. They got their check. They don't have to worry. They don't care. They don't care what you do with that equipment afterwards. As long as they get their money, they don't care. So again, I find it fascinating. It is just it is amazing to me that we continue to let other people dictate to us of what we can and cannot do. We need it needs to stop. It just needs to stop. So Jason Drew said, yeah, in pallets of cash. I had heard that, but I don't know how how real that was or not. I mean, like I said again, yeah. Now Biden wants to sign a gun registry with the UN. Yeah, well, he can kiss my behind. I'd like to see how many Americans are actually going to comply with that. I don't see that happening. He can sign whatever treaty he wants with that type of stuff. That ain't gonna fly. I'll tell you right now, that ain't going to fly. Not gonna happen. There's first of all, folks, let me just put it like this, and it's as simple and as plain as I can put it. I want you to think back of the number of guns that have been bought in throughout the years, and I'm not just talking what guns have been bought in the last 5 years, because let's do that. Let's talk about this for a second. So the government decides this is what they want to do, right? And we have to comply. Yeah, okay. How many guns are out there that have no paper trail? That there is, Uncle Charlie died and he had 4 pistols and he gave each pistol to different grandson or nephews or whatever the case may be, right? Just saying. That's an untraceable weapon right there. Untraceable, unless it's used obviously in a crime or something like that. But that is an untraceable weapon. Now, let's talk about this. If I bought something, oh my God, let's say 25 years ago, right? Let's say I bought a rifle or something 25 years ago. What do you think they're going to start with when they start looking for weapons? They're going to start looking for people that have bought within the last year to start with, or the last several months, and then they're going to just start trying to work their way back. There's no way that they can track weapons that somebody bought 20 plus years ago, because I could say, oh, I gave that away eons ago, or I sold that eons ago, when it was legal to do so. What are they going to do? Well, who did you sell it to? I have no idea. I don't remember. I mean, there's way too many weapons out there that have no trail, no paperwork, no nothing. So they're out there, okay? And I'm going to tell you what. Why do you think we have an ammo shortage? We have an ammo shortage because everybody and their brother. You think about all the brand new gun owners that we had in just the last year. I'm not even going to talk about the last 5 years. We're just talking about the last year. All right. Think about all the new gun owners that happened when Obama was president, and everybody and their brother was like rushing to go get weapons and stuff then. Think about that, right? It is all these people have all these weapons, and so they are loading up with ammo, and that's what they're doing because people like me have said, stock up, stock up, stock up. I've been saying it for years. Again, I think it's so important to make sure that you have enough to do what you need to do with. If you have a shotgun, right, and you have 100 rounds for your shotgun, and some of it is birdshot, and you got, maybe one box of double lock buck, which is 25 rounds, and then maybe you got a couple boxes of slugs, which is 5 slugs in each one of those boxes. You got squat. You got nothing, because what you're going to have, you're going to go through that really, really quickly, and then you're going to have a club. That's all you're going to have. So, yeah, Hitler started with gun registry and then confiscation. Let me just be really, really clear on this. Registration leads to confiscation. Guaranteed, happens every single time, because once they decide, let's think of a country that did this. Oh, let's go with Australia, right? You had registration. You had to register everything that you had. So you had a list. They had a list of what you had. And now all of a sudden, nope, all got to go. You got to turn in all your guns. But they know who has what because you registered your gun. So now they come to you, and you can't say, I lost them in a boating accident, because you got to prove What happened to those guns? All right. But if there's no paper trail, if there's no trace back to you, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They can't say, hey, we know you got something. We don't know what you have, but we know you got something. You think they're going to go to every single person's house with metal detectors and sniffing dogs and search everybody's property from top to bottom? No, they don't have time for that. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Never going to happen. So, yeah, what about ghost guns made with no serial number? Right, and that happens, still happens every single day. Now they're trying to squeeze that down. Obviously, you're trying to squeeze that down. I mean, it's like you look at, okay, so let's. I mean, and I love the UK and I love Australia. I love you guys. I think you guys are awesome people. But that you allowed these governments to do what they've done, and I love it when people say, well, we're allowed to have this. Okay, so let's talk about the UK. All right, you're allowed to have something, but you have to have it stored in your house in a certain way. You have to have the gun locked up over here, and you have to have the ammunition locked up over here, and they can't be together. And you better have a trigger guard on your gun as well. And you need to be part of a shooting club or something like that in order to even have one in the first place. That's total and complete control. And here's the thing I want you to understand. This is really, really easy, really, really easy to understand. When you have a criminal breaks into your house, okay, I don't have time to go, excuse me, wait a minute, Mr. Criminal, hold on a second. I have to go over here into my gun cabinet and get my gun out and take the trigger lock off. Then I got to go over to the other part of the house and I have to get my ammunition and then load it up and then be able to deal with you. So you're going to have to give me a few minutes. Don't work like that. When the criminals break into your house, they're coming in your house. Okay? Criminals come into your house, what you need to do is stop them in the doorway. You put them down when they come in your house. Period. End of story. So, yes, people, JJ made a good point. Please do not post what you have in your arsenal in the chat. There are people watching. Absolutely, there's people watching. You go back on this channel. I've been on here 11 years. Okay? 11 years. You have never one time in all the videos that I have posted all throughout this whole time period, you have never seen one weapon that I have shown. Never. Because I'm not going to. Why are you going to give people information that they don't need to have? If they come, I think it's appropriate enough to say. It's appropriate enough to say, and I've said this before as well, so I'm repeating myself when I say this. When SHTF happens, the last place that you're going to want to go and think you're going to take over and take things from is a prepper's retreat. That is the last place you're going to want to go because a prepper is prepared for every contingency and they are prepared for you scumbags out there. Not saying that you guys in the chat are, because you're not. You guys are awesome. But the scumbags out there, and so maybe some scumbags are watching and thinking, oh, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go take from him. I always tell them two things. I always tell scumbags that tell me that, oh, I'm going to come to your place and I'm taking your stuff after SHTF happens. I always wish them good luck because they're going to need it. And I also say to them, make sure you bring one thing, and that's lots of body bags because you're going to need them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's it. I don't need to grandstand. I don't need to parade around in my yard showing this rifle or that rifle or anything else. I don't need to show that. I don't need to show that. SHTF comes, the last place, any of you, I don't care who it is. I don't care if you're a prepper as well, unless you are invited, unless you come in unarmed with your hands in the air, you do not go to a prepper's retreat thinking you're going to be taking anything. You're not. So that's the reality. Because when a prepper is prepping, they prep for every single contingency. Everything. They're thinking ahead. They're 3 moves ahead of the average bearer. So if you're a drugged out dopehead that thinks that, hey, you know what, he's probably got stuff there, don't need body bags if you have a backhoe. No, well, like I said, for me, I look at it like this: dogs got to eat. In a post-event, dogs got to eat. So and no one's getting buried. You're not going to contaminate my soil. So they'll probably be burnt. Whatever the dogs don't eat, and the chickens. We'll let the chickens eat them too. Those will be some good eggs. Mmm. I am kidding with that, guys. Please, please, please don't just go crazy because I would not feed a human being to my chickens. But I would feed a human being to my dogs. I absolutely would. With no problem whatsoever. So, but not the chickens because I want to eat those eggs. And you're feeding them a human being, then you know we're no, no thanks. Meat grinder. There you go. Oh, crazy. But no, I don't like to think about. Oh, the cats too. We'll let the yeah. Pigs will eat a human being too. Yeah, there'll be nothing left. Yep. So lime pit. Yeah, well, that's if you got a couple 100 pounds of lime on hand, it's not a bad thing to have. But you don't want to waste that on that part. Like I said, it's and here's one of my favorite things, and I've talked about this before, and I said, if a huge event happens, this is what we would have to do. And again, to my thing, honestly, if somebody came here trying to loot, they get shot, happens, die of lead poisoning, they're getting strung up with a sign that says looters will be shot, period. And then that'll give people a strong indication that they probably don't want to go that way. It's really simple. And they won't. They'll make a decision that they're going to go for easier pickings elsewhere. So, but I had somebody say to me, well, you know, when civilization got back on track, you would be up on charges. No, you wouldn't, because civilization probably wouldn't get back on track. And even if it did get back on track, if you had to do what you needed to do to make sure that your people were safe, you do what you have to do. Period. It's not like you're going to film it. It's not like you're going to put it out there. Well, today I'd be in a post event. I'm still doing YouTube videos. Well, today we shot 3 intruders. Here's their bodies. Let me show you. Here's their IDs. See here, this is their ID. No, it doesn't work like that. So, what was the topic we were talking about? I know, Philip. I'm sorry. I know we digressed. We did talk about the topic though. We did. The topic was about Americans being left behind in Afghanistan. Our own government knowing that they left these Americans behind, and did the big grandstand like, oh, all the Americans are out now. Everybody's out of there when they're not. That's the unfortunately. Some poor old lady had a heart attack and landed in the pig trough. Husband found some of her, but it was messy and horrible. Oh, I can believe that because yeah, pigs will eat anything. We used to have we had a chicken that was compromised, and so she stayed on the pig side. Well, she got too close to the pig's trough, and they ate her. That's what they do. Pigs will eat everything. But we had our pigs back in the day. They were 600-pound pigs. Molly, Dolly, and Doc, and we ended up having to put them down, and they were delicious. I will say that they were absolutely wonderful. Sign says, "Be careful. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, and it's hunting season." Oh my God, that's awesome. I like that. That's a good sign. I like the other sign that says, "If you can read this, you're in range." Yeah, that's a lot of bacon. Oh man, they were. Yeah, well, we didn't do them all at once, but we had to. Those were big pigs. I'll tell you a fun. So I'll give you a quick story. You guys will like this one. So we had the farm when I was growing up, and we had these 3 huge pigs, Molly, Dolly, and Doc. And so the neighbors were having a garage built, and so these guys were out there working. Well, the pigs got out of their pen, so these guys they climbed up onto the scaffolding of this thing, and one of the neighbors called my mom and said, your pigs are out. They're these freaking huge monstrous pigs, 600-pound pigs are out wandering around. So mom goes out there, and she's got a couple of apples, and she's like, "Come on, Molly, come on, Dolly, come on, Doc." And the pigs just followed her right back into the pen. And the lady and the guys were like, "Oh my God, lady, those pigs are monsters." Oh, they're a bunch of babies. Pigs are very smart, folks. Really, really smart. A lot smarter than people give them credit for. And that's that was just a funny story. They were scared to death of these pigs, And my mom just walked up and had like apples, and they just followed her right back into the pen, and then she closed them back up in there, and that was that. Really easy. But yeah, they were fun. They were really really cool. They were huge pigs. So anyway, but it's I think it's ridiculous that our government does what it does, plays this grandstanding game, making it like, oh, we've taken care of all this, and there's all these Americans left behind. And I will tell you this right now, I will almost guarantee, again, my opinion, that the number is much higher than 100, because that's what they're saying. So if they're saying that it is 100 people that are still there, Americans still left behind, it is probably much higher than that. So something to think about. Something to think about. So the chat, no, the chat's at 662. Well, as you go up or down, it's going to pass that number. I mean, it's a number. That's all it is. So I don't know why people get so freaked out um, about numbers. So let's do this one, okay? So back when I was growing up as a kid, this, okay, you would do this, like hang ten, right? Skaters and surfers and stuff like that. I love you, sign language, right? I know, heaven forbid that they, use that. Again, Longhorns. If you were down in Texas and you were part of the Longhorns, that's what they did. Go Longhorns. 80s, rock and roll, baby, woo! But people want a symbolism with everything. Hey, Asif, there are thousands left behind in Afghanistan. Exactly. A lot of green card holders, a lot of people that want to get out that helped us because yeah, Ronnie James Dio, exactly. Ozzy. Ozzy was my boy back in the day. So, oh, sign language, the thumb is out. So it's, well, oh, like that. That's I love you. Okay. Yeah. Allegedly. I love that. There was I was watching, and this is years ago, and I can't even remember who it was. I can't even remember who it was. I was watching one of those celebrity rehabs with Dr. Drew, and the one guy was saying something about, the situation, and the other guy was like, allegedly. And I just thought that that was the funniest thing ever. Allegedly, oh, hilarious. So, in American Sign Language, it means the bull. Oh, okay. So the thumb out means I love you. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, Metallica. So back in the day, Ozzy would come to town. I always went and saw Ozzy every time he came because I was a heavy metal kid, loved my heavy metal. But like I said, I was still diversified. I listened to other things as well. Um, so whenever Ozzy would come, I always went. Well, one of the concerts that I went to, this band opened up for Ozzy, and I may have said this story before, but I'm going to say it again for you guys that haven't heard it yet. So this band opens up for Ozzy, and I see these guys, and I go, "Oh my God, who are these guys?" I'd never speed metal like you had never heard before at that time. Amazing, unbelievably amazing. They had come out with an album that was probably, I think, their third album, maybe little album. Some of you might remember called Master of Puppets. Um, Metallica. I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. They were unbelievable, and they're still going strong now. They're still out there putting. You know, I went to an Ozzy concert. He peed on stage. Ozzy's not right in the head. Okay, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, and any of us out there that have at different points in times maybe have overindulged. Our behavior is not always proper when we're not thinking straight. So these things happen. But yeah, so that was it was their Master of Puppets album had just come out, and I saw these guys, and so Cliff Burton was still alive at that point. So I actually saw Metallica when Cliff Burton was still alive, and that was like the next year I think they went, or that fall they were on a European tour when he was killed. But Ed, whilst in VA and SHTF happens, how would someone handle that something like this? If you're so if you're out and about, if you're out and about and you're out of state and something goes down, you better have some kind of a plan. I like I said, I always have a get home bag, and yeah, maybe that get home bag is 3 days worth of food. It's supplies to be able to stay warm, stay comfortable while I'm traveling. Extra pair of boots, because what footwear are you wearing? It's not like you're always. Well, I wear boots a lot. I shouldn't say that because I wear boots all the time. I had somebody ask me, and I got to tell you that I thought this was funny. They made the observation that I never wear shorts, and they were like, "Do you not ever wear shorts?" And generally, I don't because if I'm working in the yard or doing something like that, I always have pants on. So yeah, that's just kind of the way it's always been. I just have always worn jeans and boots generally. I have sneakers, but I generally don't wear sneakers a lot. I'll be honest with you. I have my sneakers that I use for cutting the grass because I don't want to wear my boots. But other than that, I generally am wearing boots all the time. So I don't know. It's something I've done since I was a kid. Jeans, t-shirts, boots. And then if it was summertime, then of course the shirt comes off and the bandana goes on because I sweat too much, and that's it. So if there's a picture, and this is funny. You guys will get a kick out of this one as well. There's a picture that Heather took one year. We had gone to Letchworth State Park and we went swimming. And in the picture, I was sitting on the chair. We're in and out of the pool and stuff like that. And Heather took the picture and she said, "Oh my God, Dad! If somebody didn't know, they would think that this picture's photoshopped because from the waist up, really dark. As you can, I mean, I got a tan now. You can tell I'm dark. Okay, but from the waist down, pasty white, and it literally looks like the photo was photoshopped because my legs just don't get any sun. Because unless I'm swimming, which I'm not out there doing that a lot, I got jeans on. So I just think that's very funny. Me too, Ed. Even in 110 degrees, I wear pants. To me, I just like if you're working, with ticks and the mosquitoes and the bugs and brambles and everything else that will scrape the crap out of your legs. I don't want to do it, and that's what And when you're working outside and and you're in the country, that's what you deal with. So anyway, what are you doing, Miss Hella? hmm So all right, what do we have? Almost okay. Let's do this. Let's do real quick. I'm going to ask for another thumbs up. If you have not shot one yet, I would appreciate you doing so to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time. Uh, exactly, the bushes and the bugs. Yeah, exactly. That's why I wear jeans all the time. And if I'm working outside, generally all those are going to be from your waist down. So that's why I always wear jeans. It's just easier. So shoot a thumbs up if you have not done so to show support for the channel, and thank you. Also, it really does help with the algorithms as well. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. And I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. That's the third reason. So let's do this. Egg count. What do you guys think that the egg count was today? Miss Molly's probably out and about outside somewhere. Most of the cats are. When it's nice out, they are not in the house. They come in and eat, and then they go back out again. So, so I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses here. All right. If you had the same exact guess as Jason Arnold, then you are correct. Congratulations. What was Jason's guess? Do you guys know what Jason's guess was? Unless you're paying attention in the chat, you don't. 6 eggs today. And Thickneck did not lay today. She was a lazy chicken. So 6 eggs was the count today. Yeah, Jason knew what his count was. But yeah, so no, they're, like I said, I got a lot of birds that are molting. They are, regrowing feathers. So I did have one of these smaller eggs. They're getting starting to get bigger. They're not pullet eggs anymore, but they're like in between. So I know that like one of my new girls is definitely laying, and the rest will. It'll just, like I said, it'll just take time. All of a sudden, what'll happen is we'll just have a huge jump in the count. So, but yep, that's what I was talking about, Kaylin. One of the new birds. That was like an egg that was like medium size. I could tell that it wasn't an adult egg. Where yeah, so they have started laying. Not all of them yet. We did get a little series there where we got pullet eggs, but yeah, it just what does Thickneck stamp her name on her eggs? No, she's the only one. She's my only Easter egger. So she's the only chicken that I have that lays the greenish blue eggs. So when she doesn't lay, I know she hasn't laid because there's no greenish blue egg in the mix. All the rest of them lay brown eggs. So that's how I know if she's laid or not. Oh yeah, well the pullet eggs, what I do, Big Bear Prepper One. I have my neighbor Chris. Obviously, those of you that know Greg and Chris, Chris does a lot of arts and crafts. So I give her the pullet eggs, or the little boy next door. I'll give him the pullet eggs. And yes, you can eat them, but Chris uses them for some of her art that she does. So that's how we deal with that. So, but yeah, you can eat them. That's fine. But I give them away just because they're really neat and they're little tiny things, and I think it's really cool. And the little boy's eyes like light up when he sees those. So she's drinking food coloring. Yeah, yeah. She's I don't know. I think she's a cool chicken. I would love to get some more like her. They are pullet eggs, not bullet eggs. I said pullet. I said pullet. Why would you call them bullet eggs? It doesn't make any sense. So, but let's see. Yeah, so the new girls are laying journeyman eggs. Yeah, that's right. That's what are you gonna do? That's how that goes. But oh, someone else said it. Okay, I see the chat goes so quick. Sometimes I don't see everything, so I do apologize for that. Rhode Island Reds lay brown eggs. Rhode Island eggs, they lay the brown eggs. Sounded like you said bullet. No, I said pullet. But that's okay. It's very similar sounding. You know what I've thought about that, Asif? Asif said you should incubate a few of Thickneck's eggs. But the problem with that would be the father would either be Goliath, which is he's a barred rock, or it would be Foghorn Leghorn, which is I don't even know what breed he is, but he's the white chicken. So it wouldn't be a full blown chicken like that. So you'd have to get those that were actually bred from the same, you know, stock, same kind of bird, because you're going to get a hybrid of something. So they probably wouldn't be. She probably, if any of her eggs probably would not be the same. So yeah, so the daddy needs to be the same species as thickneck. Yes. Yep. Yeah, they won't breed true. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Foghorn Leghorn is a white leghorn. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Thank you. But most likely, the father of any of the babies would be Goliath because he is the boss. Hybrids are great. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with hybrids. And I've thought about, doing it that way as well. But right now I'm good. I got 25 chickens. Unfortunately, 4 of them are roosters. So, you know, and I'm thinking that some of my older brown hens are done laying. That's what I think is going on. So they are not producing. That's why I do need to get the camera in there, which I do plan on doing at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen, but that would be a cool way to find out who's laying, who's not laying, who's trying to eat eggs, so we could get rid of them as well. And I have some of those green shells for crafts, beautiful. Yeah, and they're really neat. They're really neat eggs, and so we'll see what happens. The boss always gets the chicks. That's right. That's right. So, freezer camp for the older chickens, possibly, possibly. Yeah, it's they gotta. I gotta find out who's laying and who's not laying. But I know like age wise of the chickens. When I got the free chickens, the white ones were babies, and hey Gigi, Ed, I think you have to do something with the fence to the right of the gate. Hella is going to jump over and because she's mashing it down, trying to see her daddy. She has not tried to escape, as of this point. But yes, I know that she that's where she's always jumping in that area because she wants to get to me. You're right. Thank you very much for the donation, and thank you for that. Yeah, but there's a couple spots in the fences where she likes to go and hit the fence. So paint numbers on them and have races. I've seen that when they had like the Tonka truck with the feed in the truck, and they had the chickens running around chasing it. So, but I just keep my old hens and live out their lives. Well, when I was gone to Sturgis, that's what actually happened to one. I don't know if I told you guys that or not. Becky called me up and she's like, Ed, and I go, yeah. She goes, one of your chickens died. I go, what do you mean one of my chickens died? She said, one of those brown ones, the older brown ones. She goes, I just came into the chicken coop and it was dead. And I'm like, well, they're older. They're older chickens. So I think that's what happened with that. So, but yeah, I like the chickens. I'm not doing it for any kind of profit. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to make money off my chickens. They probably cost me more money than anything else, but I like having them there. Ed, do you think we'll be going back to Afghanistan in some form soon? Sean Colvin. I don't think that they will. This administration, to be honest with you, is very very weak. They got no backbone. So no, I don't think we're going to go back there. I mean, because I'm going to tell you what. After that bombing that they did with the suicide bombing, that oh yeah, by the way, the Taliban let that guy through their part of the checkpoint. Uh, what they'll do, and you're gonna. This is a prediction. Okay, just give you a little prediction. They'll negotiate behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden the Taliban will make sure these people are out of there. But we'll have to have given them something for them to do it, and that's how that'll go down. Instead of dealing with it the way we should be dealing with it, um, you know, which, like I said, you with a heavy hand, you give them a choice. It's very very simple, realistically, and that's my opinion. It's very simple. Okay, you go in there and you tell them you get all the Americans. Here's the list of names of the Americans. You get them all to the airport without being hurt. And if you don't do that, this is what's going to happen to you. And you don't have to do boots on the ground. We don't have to do boots on the ground anymore. You know, Chicken Feed Fund, Mars Fool's Gold. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. So yeah, they're like I said, they're fun. I like my chickens, but like I said, it's hedging a bet. Realistically, SHTF happens, and I got chickens, so I can still have eggs, and I can still have meat. And I know how they're raised, and I know how they're taken care of. So one of the first things that I would do with 13-year-old in India of Nepal, 40 to 70% more mortality rate. Really? Hmm. I wonder how true that is. Again, like I'll be honest with you, cellar door. I don't believe anything that they put out there anymore. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe any of it. I don't. So I think they're full of crap. It's all a lot of it's manipulation, and the latest variant is now being called COVID-22. Oh, I didn't know that either. But like I said, it's just we're inundated with this crap daily. So let's get into this a little bit. Let's do that. And I've talked about this before, we'll bring it up again. What do I see happening this fall? Now, again, I'm not making predictions. Just I'm observant. I pay attention to what's going on. They have been pushing for quite a while now. If you guys have been paying attention, you've seen that they have been really, really pushing that. Yeah, they want you scared. Exactly. They've been pushing this fear propaganda for quite a while. Oh, this latest thing, this is so bad, and it's much more contagious, and all this other nonsense, right? So the mortality rate was the same, but this is more contagious according to them. Is it true or not true? I have no idea. I have no idea because I'm not seeing indications where, and I'm going to give you some great examples where I'm not seeing indications that they're really truly scared about these things. Hey, Karen, I'm waiting for the Hellraiser variant, and we all have spikes sticking out of our heads. Oh my God, that's funny. Thank you very much for the donation. That's a funny statement. I like that. We just had the state fair here in New York. We just had the balloon festival. And people come from all over for the balloon festival. We were down there Saturday. Heather and I went because I took her on Saturday. 3, 4 people maybe wearing masks. That's it. That's it. Everybody else, no mask, walking around, no issues, doing what they do, right? State fair, same thing. People weren't wearing masks. So if this is so horribly, terribly contagious, you're still having these events. I'm still waiting to hear. I'm still waiting to hear from Sturgis what the numbers supposedly are. Remember, it's supposed to be, oh my God, Fauci, 2 years in a row, super spreader event. This is going to be a super spreader event. It's going to be all over. It's going to be terrible. Has it been? No. Okay. I think they're full of crap. That's, again, I'm giving you my opinion. Do I believe that there is a virus out there? I absolutely, yes, I do believe there's a virus out there. But do I believe it is deadly? And realistically, they're telling you it's not deadly. They're telling you it's not deadly. So, you know, why would you do it? You have to, when you hear the numbers, and this is what I want you guys to do. Here's some more homework for you. If you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I don't care. You can do whatever you want to do. You're all adults. When they give you the numbers, go in and break the numbers down. Find out how many of the new cases are people that are 60 years plus. Find out how many of the new cases are people that are already compromised, being diabetics, being overweight, have underlying health issues, are people that are receiving cancer treatment, so their immune system is suppressed, all those type of things. Go break it down that way. And then you're going to see the reality of how really, truly not bad this thing is. And I don't care how many a-hole celebrities get on the channel or anywhere and say, oh, even though I was fully vaccinated, I still got it. Well, I could care less. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm not even touch that one, but you know. So that's I'm not even going to touch that. I'm going to leave that alone. What my thought is, could it be spread by mosquitoes? You know what? That's a good question, and I have no idea. Generally mosquitoes are out in the country, so you're not really dealing with a tremendous amount of people that the mosquitoes are getting into. In UK, government has said that they are pushing the vaccination, but they want everyone to catch COVID. People who are vaccinated will be real mild. How ridiculous is that? And again, you know, how do they know? They don't know. That's what they're telling you. So, it's just, again, believe what you want to believe, and that's fine. You have an absolute right to believe whatever you want to do. I'm never going to, yeah, Israel's new case is more than half. 59% actually were fully vaxxed. We just talked about that on Friday. We talked about that. Yeah, 59% of all the new cases in Israel, the most vaccinated country in the world, 59% were fully vaccinated people. So what does that tell you? Again, like I said, believe whatever you want to believe. I don't trust the government, never will. I sure don't trust big pharma. There's been too much information coming out there, and again, I'm gonna make a statement, okay? And I've talked about this before, and I will say this again. And I use my own family. I always, if I can use my own experiences and my own family as a point of reference, I always will. When my children were 2 years old, they went to get their vaccinations. All right, both at the same time. Eddie and Heather went at the same time. Both very normal, very healthy children. Eddie was actually talking before Heather, very engaging. Um, and what happened? They got their vaccinations, and it literally was like somebody turned a light switch off on my son. And I don't care what kind of propaganda, what kind of crap that they feed you. In my opinion, and it's my opinion, okay, the autism that was in my son was a direct result of those shots, because there's no other correlation. How do you go from having a normal, healthy, engaging, happy, smiling child to one after they got their vaccination that shut down, wasn't talking anymore, not engaging anymore, and then have to deal with all that? So don't tell me. I mean, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I witnessed it firsthand as a parent, witnessed it firsthand. And that's the truth. And if you don't, and I don't care. I don't care what people think. They can say whatever they want to say. They can think whatever they want to think. But I saw what happened to my son. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I could get concrete proof that these a-holes in the pharmaceutical companies were behind it and they knew about it, there would be a retribution. And I'm not going to tell you what that would be, but there would be a retribution, because my son's life was destroyed, which affected his sister, it affected his mother, it affected me, it affected his grandparents, his aunts, his uncles, anybody that child was around. It affected them because of the direct result of what happened to my son. So that's it. That's it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, but again and again, I will say it. I believe the parents. When you witness it firsthand, there is no disputing. Because I was trying to figure out at the time what, because I didn't put it together till later. I didn't put it together till later, but at the time, I was like, "What in the heck happened here? What's going on?" And then when we were meeting with the doctors and stuff like that. So at 2 he gets his shots. At 2.5 he's diagnosed with autism, right? Because we saw something's wrong. Something's wrong with this kid. Something's going on. What's going on? And I can remember sitting in the doctor's office, and I said, "Was there something that we did? Was there something that we did that caused this to happen to him?" And they were like, "There's no known reason." But the correlation with autism and the increased cases of children, especially boys with autism, has gone up, gone up, gone up, gone up, gone up since they've increased these shots. Since they giving more and more stuff to these kids. Isn't that interesting how that works? When Eddie was born and was diagnosed with autism, which is now almost 20 years ago, because he will be 20 in October, it was, I think at the time, 1 in 172 kids got autism. Now it's down to like 1 in 35. So you explain to me how that works. I'm listening. I'm all ears. So, that's all. That I really don't want to harp on that too much more, because that's a sore subject. Trust me, it's a sore subject. So anyway, what I would like to do now, I'm going to completely switch everything up. I would like to do some shout outs. Okay. And I would like to acknowledge other channels out there that I think are good channels. And so I now, and don't get me wrong. Before we go into that, I just want to say this: I'm not anti-vaccination for children that need to have stuff. What I encourage all of you that have small children, okay, that you're coming up on those vaccination times when your children are supposed to get vaccinated, make them spread it out. Don't do it all at once. Make them spread it out, because they will and they have to. You, as the parents, are your children's advocates. So make sure you spread those shots out. They need to have the certain things. I get it. So I don't want you to think I'm up here all anti-vax with everything. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But those little bodies are not designed to tolerate what they're putting into them all at one time. They're just not. So if they don't go to school to 5, why the heck do they have to have all this stuff thrown in their bodies at 2 years old? Okay, so all right, shout outs. Icky Can Off Grid. JJ's got his link up there already. He is up in Canada, a good friend of mine, very nice gentleman, very down to earth. So definitely give him some support. Tell him that Prepper Nurse One sent you guys up there. Sean James up in Canada, with Sean James and My Self Reliance, same guy, 2 different channels. Great things that he's doing up there. It's very fun to watch. I love watching his stuff and with him building and that type of stuff. So definitely go and show him some support as well. Again, never talked to the guy, but you can tell him Prepper Nurse One sent you up, because he's a really good dude. Okay. Um, Also, we have Doug and Stacy. They got a very cool channel as well, so I definitely would encourage you to support them as well. Again, tell them Prepper Nurse One sent you. Marfugal News, out on the West Coast. Adam and Dax, good guys. A lot of information there. Definitely check that out as well. Again, let them know that Prepper Nurse One sent you over. Angry Prepper down in New York City. Love Angry Prepper. Good dude. Talked to him many times. Been on his show a couple times as well. Canadian Prepper is another one. Alaskan Prepper is another one. Really good dude. And Alaskan Granny. You have, let's try to think here. I'm going to, Southern Prepper 1 is another one. Green Greg's, Gray Man Prepping, Pinball. And those of you that don't know, I will be at Pinball's Get Together in October 16th. He is doing the Get Together in Tennessee. I will be there for that event, because I will be down at my property in that time, and I'm going to go over for the day and hang out with everybody over there. So I definitely plan on going to that event. So we have, let's see, Green Greg's, I think I already mentioned him. We have Magic Prepper is another good channel, a lot of good information with him. He's up in North Dakota. I already said Canadian Prepper, Asif. Yeah, I like Canadian Prepper too. Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. My Suspicious Observer is another good channel. There's a tremendous amount of good channels out there, a lot of information, and I think it's important that we diversify and look at all different aspects of things. North Shore Preparedness, 80K Man, a couple more. Ice Age Farmer, yep, another one as well. Yep. So there's a lot of great channels out there, a lot of different ways of looking at things. People have a different perspective, and I think it's important that we diversify and look at different aspects of things. So I definitely think that we should all be supporting each other, and I think that that's important. All right. So happy Prepper, young man. If you have kids, send them over to his channel, because it's a kid's perspective, and I think that's really cool. So like I said, there's a lot of good channels out there. So I think, like, again, we should be all supporting each other. So anyway, what are we at here time wise? Okay, Let us do this really quickly so then we can talk a little bit more. We are Legion because we are many. And again, I'm going to ask for another thumbs up again too. So as we get 442. So let's try to get that up over 500. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to do so to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing so. I appreciate that. Also, it really does help with the algorithm. So more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. And so that's important as well. Also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up. So thank you for doing that. And again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. It's funny. Real quick before we get in, well, we'll do this real quick. We have upstate South Carolina, Melbourne, Australia, Fort Worth, Texas. So where's everybody from? Let's do that real quick. We have Connecticut. Give you guys a second here to Nowhere, Oklahoma. Maryland, San Antonio, Texas, the Adirondacks. Go Bills, not go Cowboys. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Cape Cod, Ohio, BC, Canada. San Antonio, North Central Texas. Somerset, Pennsylvania. Las Vegas. Newport Richey in Florida. Brookings, Oregon. Southern Coast. Maryland, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Iowa, Florida, Essex Junction, Vermont. Daytona Beach in Florida. Let's see, Vancouver, BC, Canada. Northern California, Louisville, Texas, Edgewater, Florida. Southern Oregon, Eastern Kentucky, Northeast Ohio, Colorado, Northern California, Massachusetts, New Mexico. Let's see, Corkston, Ohio, Southern Oregon, Northeast Ohio again, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, very cool, very nice. Houston, Buffalo, New York, Prescott, Arizona, Hollywood, California, Kent in the UK. Peter, thanks for sticking around. Buffalo, New York, Oklahoma, Albion, New York, East Central Illinois, Southern Oregon, Wayne County, Ohio, New Jersey, Willard, Ohio, Union City, Pennsylvania, Leesburg, Florida, Flushing, Michigan, Texas. So again, guys, all over the country, all over the world, we're a huge network of people, and it's I think it's really important that that we realize how much power we really have. We're a huge network of people, so I think that's really, really important. Man, sorry, I'm tired. I still don't feel 100% yet, and I do apologize. Oh, I had somebody tell me, I love this. This is one of my favorites. I'm not whining. I'm just telling you, I'm definitely not 100%. And so, I'm going to, be honest with you guys. And I'm going to still have swelling in through here in my face. I'm taking my antibiotics. I'm trying to get through this and get back to being 100%, hopefully. And I had somebody in the comments today go, and again, I realized, and I'll tell you the comment that I replied. They're like, stop whining. My father was over in North Africa during the Second World War, and he took a tooth out with just whiskey and a pair of pliers. So I replied, he's my hero. So what? So what? You know what I mean? It's like, congratulations to him for being a tough guy. I don't want to have to pull my tooth with a plier. So you do fits about these comments. I just think it's funny. I just like to share things with you because I find them amusing sometimes. Like when people complain when I don't have a shirt on if it's hot outside. I'm like, whatever. It's not like I'm going to all of a sudden, because 3 people complain that I didn't have a shirt on, oh, well, I better change everything about myself to accommodate everybody. That's never going to happen. Bug in the eye while riding? No, I wear my glasses when I ride. So, but anyway, I want to encourage you all to continue to prep. I want you to continue to get ready. take care of any kind of medical things that you need to take care of now. Take care of those things, get them out of the way. Anything from a hernia that you've been putting off because, oh, I can deal with that later. Do what you need to do to take care of yourselves. Uh, with me taking care of my dental stuff, like I said, I share everything. I'm going to share with you what's going on and stuff like that. And I'm really, I'm happy that I'm able to get those things done now, because it's been years that didn't go to a dentist because I couldn't afford to go. So, Kimberly says, I love to shirt off. Well, I'm glad you do. But I don't do it for anybody else. I do it for me because I'm too hot. So, yeah, I walked. Yeah, right, JJ. I walked 3 miles in a blizzard conditions on my knees to school every day. That was always a good one. But you forgot uphill both ways. Yeah, it was like, good for you. Congratulations. I don't have to do that. I'm not going to do that. If I can go to the dentist and get things taken care of properly, and not have other issues because I'm going to do it the right way, that's what I'm going to really do. So I have backup glasses, Gigi. The last time I went out and bought glasses, I bought two pair, and I keep all my old glasses because, again, in an SHTF situation, having some glasses, um, as opposed to no glasses, is a good thing. So, but Ed, you always look fine. I hope you feel better soon. Tooth pulled is tough business. It's not fun. It's not fun. And I knew that this one up here was going to be a bear, and it has been. It was. I'll tell you what. The one that I got pulled down over here, cakewalk in comparison to this one. Cakewalk. But again, this tooth, again, I have deep roots for whatever that means, and it was right up into my sinuses. So there was infection all through that whole area, is what they told me. So, you know, yeah, your upper ones affect your sinus cavity, exactly. So, like, I would rather do it the smart way. I don't need to be a tough guy with cavities and pull my own teeth out with a pair of pliers. If you did it, if you've done it, good for you. Congratulations. I ain't doing it that way. So, you know, I would like to keep the rest of the teeth that I have. So that's what I would like to do. So I wanted to get things taken care of. And again, when something happens, I don't want to go, oh God, I should have gotten that cavity taken care of, or I should have taken care of that tooth that I know was bad. I don't want to do it that way. So that was a priority, and I am taking care of that priority. So that's how it goes. But anyway, time has gone by so fast. It always does. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. And no, I'm not Rambo. Don't even pretend to be Rambo. I'm just a dude. That's all I am. You know. When the time comes, I let's just put it like this. I'll tell you a quick story real quick, and then we'll go into other stuff. So I got a buddy of mine, and he had a friend of his. He was talking to him. This is years ago, and he was telling him about me. And he said, "Oh yeah, my buddy lives off grid, and he's a prepper and stuff like that." He goes, "Oh, he's one of those crazy people, right?" And the guy said, my buddy said to this guy, he said, "Listen, if things were going to go belly up, if they were going to go bad, and I had to pick one guy, he goes, I would pick my buddy Ed." And he goes, "Why do you say that?" And he said, "Because Ed's the kind of guy that will do what is necessary. He always has been and always will be." He says, "And that's who I would want at my side." So to me, that means more to me than anything else. I don't need to be a tough guy. I'm just a dude. And when the time comes, I'm the dude that will do what I need to do. And my family and my group and the people that I care about, they're going to come first, period. Everybody else is secondary. And that's how I feel about that. But so anyway, just a dude with a bald head. That's right. So, oh, hey, Roger. Thank you for becoming a beginner prepper. Thank you for joining. New member. Thank you very much. Um, Again, I want to thank my moderators who keep the chat clean. You guys are the best. You are absolutely awesome. So thank you guys for doing what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, to do that for me, you guys are unbelievable. You really, really are. So yeah, I'm the dude behind the dude. All right, JJ. JJ's on top of stuff for me, and I do it unbelievably again. Like all of you guys that moderate for me, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. You guys are amazing. I want to thank all of you for being here for all these streams and being part of this, and I appreciate that. And I'm always going to recommend dental implants when you can afford them. Yeah, no, I know that that's the way to do it. That is absolutely the way to do it. But you're talking for dental implants, you're looking at about a $4,000 bill, and that I don't have. So, these just had to come out for now. So I don't have any more that have to come out, so that's a good thing. So anyway, so thank you all for being here and being part of this. It's really important to me too, and I really appreciate all the support. Um, and again, welcome Roger as a new member for the that, and I appreciate the support that way as well. That really does mean a lot as well. Um, I want to remind you guys we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race, and as soon as we can really focus on that, we're going to be in much better shape. We have to stop letting them manipulate us over race, religion, political affiliation, and vaxxed and unvaxxed. We got to stop. Now, I don't know if you saw that whole vaxxed and unvaxxed thing is kind of slowed down a little bit because too many people were calling BS where BS needed to be called. Hey, Betsy R. Saw your earlier video today. How does one stock up on antibiotics when you can hardly get them when you are sick? For the situation. Okay, so thank you very much for the question, Betsy. And I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm not going to tell you to do this. You have to make your own decisions on what you want to do. But what I have done, because again, you can't just go out and get a prescription for antibiotics for no reason. What I do, I get fish mocks, fish penicillin, and those type of things. They are the exact same thing that if you went to the doctor to get amoxicillin or penicillin, any of that type of stuff. It's the same exact thing, except that it says that it is for fish. Same exact thing. If you put the pills together, the one you got from the doctors and the ones that you got for your fish mocks or your fish pen, same exact thing. So that is what I do. So I cannot recommend as a medical professional that you should do anything. But what I have done, I have that Heather had an infection last year and she didn't want to go to the doctors in the middle of all the whole pandemic nonsense. So we ran a course of that on her then. That was my decision as a parent to do that for my child. Guess what? It took care of that infection. So, um, again, you guys can make your own calls of what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you what you should or should not do. It's a personal choice, but I'm just telling you what I have done. All right. So, also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. All right. Also, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to do, you're welcome, Betsy. You're welcome. And you can go, Betsy, if you were looking to get those, chewy.com. Chewy.com is a site where you can purchase those. Okay. So, what was it? Going blank again here, right? So STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. I will see you all tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great day. Also, some pharmacies will give you a 3-month supply. I have not seen that happen, to be honest with you. But if you say that it does, I'm sure that it does. But I have not seen that. Generally, like right now, I am on. What am I taking? So, but anyway, I'm on an antibiotic right now. It was a 7-day run, and they gave me a different one from the one that I had before. So for my other tooth, because I don't want to pound you up on the same stuff all the time. So that's why if you are going to get an antibiotic for a fish mox, what I do, I get different kinds so that you don't have the same one being used all the time. So there we are. All right. So anyway, I hope you all have a great night. I will see you guys all later. Again, members only for the Hardcore Preppers tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So I would ask them to join me then. So there we are. All right. I will see you guys later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.